What if I told you that 1972 had more amazing one-hit wonders than any other year in music history? When you clicked on this video, you're probably wondering which songs from that year completely disappeared from radio playlists and oldies collections. Maybe you're curious about whether these forgotten hits were actually better than the classics everyone still remembers. Or perhaps you're asking yourself how incredible songs from 1972 could just vanish when that year gave us legendary tracks from David Bowie, T-Rex, and the Rolling Stones. The truth is, 1972 was an absolute goldmine for brilliant songs that had their moment and then mysteriously faded away. While everyone remembers American Pie, Heart of Gold, and School's Out, dozens of equally amazing tracks climbed the charts that same year, only to be forgotten by history. These weren't throwaway novelty songs or weak attempts at following trends. They were genuine gems that deserved to become timeless classics, but got buried under the avalanche of incredible music that defined the early 70s. Today, we're diving into 10 of these lost treasures. And by the end of this video, you'll wonder how the music world could have forgotten songs this good. Let's start with the Raspberries, Go All the Way, 1972. This Cleveland band created what might be the perfect power pop song, combining the Beatles' melodic genius with rock and roll's raw energy. Eric Carmen's soaring vocals and the band's tight harmonies made Go All the Way sound like a Lost McCartney masterpiece, but with an edge that spoke directly to teenage rebellion. The song climbed to number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100, which should have launched the Raspberries into superstardom. Instead, they became footnotes in music history, while lesser bands achieved lasting fame. The tragedy is that Go All the Way predicted the entire power pop movement by several years, but arrived at a time when radio programmers couldn't decide if it was bubblegum pop or serious rock. This confusion cost us one of the decade's most influential bands.
Oh, in a little while from now, if I'm not feeling any less sad, I promise myself to treat.
Gilbert O'Sullivan, Alone Again, naturally, 1972, represents the art of melancholy perfected. This Irish singer-songwriter crafted a song so devastating in its emotional honesty that it should have established him as one of the era's great troubadours. The track tells the story of contemplating suicide after being left at the altar, then losing both parents, subject matter that was almost unthinkably dark for early 70s pop radio. Yet O'Sullivan's gentle melody and conversational delivery made the song irresistible, sending it to number 1 for 6 weeks. The problem was that Gilbert O'Sullivan looked and sounded like nobody else in popular music. His Edwardian appearance and literary songwriting style made him impossible to categorize, which meant he never built the lasting career his talent deserved. Then there's Sammy Davis Jr., the Candyman, 1972, a song that proved even the most unlikely artists could create magic under the right circumstances. Davis had been a legendary entertainer for decades, but the Candyman gave him his only number 1 hit as a solo artist. The song's childlike optimism and infectious melody created something genuinely joyful in an era often dominated by serious social commentary. But because it came from a Willy Wonka movie soundtrack and featured lyrics about candy and rainbows, critics dismissed it as lightweight fluff. This was unfair to both the song and Davis, whose performance brought real warmth and sophistication to what could have been throwaway material. The Candyman deserved to be remembered as proof that joy and artistry weren't mutually exclusive.
Girl, you're getting that look in your eyes, and it's starting to...
Mac Davis, Baby Don't Get Hooked on Me, 1972, showcased a songwriter's songwriter stepping into the spotlight with remarkable results. Davis had already written hits for Elvis Presley and other major stars, but his own recording revealed a performer of considerable charm and skill. The song's funky groove and conversational lyrics created something that was part country, part soul, and completely irresistible. Davis understood how to make confessions sound like seduction, turning a song about romantic warnings into an invitation. But his success as a songwriter may have worked against his performing career. People saw him as the guy who wrote hits for other people, not as a star in his own right. This perception cost the music world a truly unique voice.
Port out of Western Bay, and it serves 100 ships a day.
Looking Glass, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, 1972, tells one of pop music's most vivid stories through just 3.5 minutes of perfect melody and arrangement. The song paints a complete picture of Brandy, a barmaid in a harbor town who loves a sailor more than he loves the sea. Looking Glass created something that felt both timeless and completely contemporary, with lead singer Elliot Lurie's warm vocals bringing every character to life. The track reached #1 and should have established Looking Glass as major storytellers, but they never managed to recapture this lightning-in-a-bottle moment. The tragedy is that Brandy proved there was still room for narrative songs in the age of album rock, but nobody seemed to notice the lesson.
Oh, girl, I'd be in trouble if you left me now, 'cause I don't know where.
The Chai Lights, Oh Girl, 1972, demonstrated that soul music could be both commercially successful and emotionally profound. Eugene Records' falsetto vocals and the group's sophisticated harmonies created something that was simultaneously street-smart and heartbreakingly vulnerable. The song's arrangement built slowly from intimate confession to soaring declaration, proving that the Chai Lights understood dynamics in ways that many of their contemporaries missed. Oh Girl topped both the pop and R&B charts, which should have established them among the era's great soul groups. Instead, they're remembered as one-hit wonders, despite having created one of the decade's most perfect love songs.
I'm coming home, I've done my time. Now I've got to know what is.
Dawn featuring Tony Orlando, Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree, 1972, became one of the year's biggest hits while somehow remaining culturally invisible. The song told a simple story about a man returning from prison, hoping his lover still wanted him. But Tony Orlando's sincere delivery and the group's tight harmonies made it genuinely moving. The track spent 4 weeks at #1 and became a cultural touchstone for everything from homecoming celebrations to hostage situations. Yet Dawn never achieved the lasting recognition of other early 70s pop groups, perhaps because their wholesome image seemed out of step with rock's increasingly serious self-image.
Ain't nobody crying, no, ain't nobody worried.
The staple singers, I'll Take You There, 1972, brought gospel music into the mainstream with unprecedented success. Mavis Staples' powerful vocals and the family group's spiritual intensity created something that was both sacred and secular, appealing to soul fans and church congregations alike. The song's simple message of hope and transportation to a better place resonated during a turbulent time in American history. But the staple singer's success may have been limited by music industry categories that didn't know how to market artists who crossed religious and secular boundaries. I'll Take You There deserved to launch them into the same rarefied air occupied by Aretha Franklin and other soul legends. War, the Cisco Kid, 1972, proved that funk could tell stories as vividly as any folk song. The track transformed a Western TV character into a funky celebration of Chicano culture, with War's multicultural lineup bringing authentic diversity to their music. The song's Latin rhythms and street-smart lyrics created something genuinely innovative, predicting the world music movement by decades. But War's genre-blending approach may have confused programmers who preferred their funk straightforward and their politics subtle. The Cisco Kid should have established War as major innovators instead of being remembered as a novelty hit.
Wanted, young man, single and free. Experience in love preferred, but
Finally, Honey Cone, Want Ads, 1972, showcased an all-female group that could compete with anyone in terms of vocal power and musical sophistication. The song's clever concept, a woman advertising for love through classified ads, was brought to life through tight harmonies and an irresistible groove. Honeycomb proved that girl groups could be both commercially successful and artistically ambitious in the post-Supremes era. But the music industry's tendency to pigeonhole female artists meant they never got the respect they deserved as complete entertainers and musicians. These 10 songs prove that 1972 was one of the greatest years in popular music history, not just for the classics we still celebrate, but for the forgotten gems that deserve better. Each track offers something special, whether it's perfect songcraft, emotional honesty, or pure innovation that modern music could learn from. Don't let these masterpieces stay buried in the past. Seek them out, share them with friends, and give them the recognition they should have received 50 years ago. Which of these forgotten hits surprised you the most? Drop a comment below and hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into music history's greatest overlooked treasures.